Welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Carrie Dillon. We're joined by one of our friends here who's going to decode a couple of things that I know people have had questions about. Tom Dowling, financial planner, Aegis Planning.
Correct.
Nice to have you.
Nice
Let's talk retirement. Let's talk retirement. What does somebody really need for retirement?
A plan.
And thank you for coming. Nice to have you.
I think the most important part is a plan.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, listen, if you owned a business, you would make sure that all your departments work together. If you had a sales department, works with the delivery works with billing, because you want it to be efficient and effective, right? Well, your retirement is the same thing. You want to make sure your investments work with your retirement plan. Your insurance coincide with your estate plan. You want to make sure all that works together and consider them departments. You want to run your retirement like a business. And actually, I always quote Warren Buffett, right? Warren Buffett says, we don't have to be smarter than everyone else. We have to be more disciplined than everyone else.
A little bit of discipline in the plan. How much money does somebody really need to retire? I mean, can you throw a number at it?
Yeah, that's tough, but I will answer it this way. Because look, retirement is very personal, right? It's different for everyone.
Sure.
But the way you can figure it out for yourself is it's in three parts. How much income will you have in retirement? So your Social Security, pension, things like that. What your expenses will be. A little bit more difficult to figure out, but with a little effort, you can do it. And then the third part would be how much you need to get from your portfolio in order to satisfy your needs. But that's the hardest question. So to help answer that one, you can use what's called the 4% rule. It's actually more of an estimate, so it's different per person, but it varies. But studies have shown you could withdraw 4% of your portfolio every year and still have enough through retirement, right? But remember, it's an estimate. It depends on when you retire, but it's a good way to figure it out. So if you take your income and then the 4% you're withdrawing, and if that doesn't equal or exceed your expenses, you've got some soul searching to do. You got to figure out some things. And also keep in mind, there's also what I call the post-retirement spending binge. So the 4 or 5 years after you retire, you spend a little bit more than you want to, or you expect it to, because you're doing all those things that you've always wanted to do.
Sure.
You're traveling more, you're playing more golf,
and then
going out to dinner.
You need to get the new bed.
Yeah, you're doing all those things you've
well.
always wanted to do. So anyway, that's what you do. But you work very closely with your financial advisor to try and figure out that number for yourself.
Now, in terms of age and collecting Social Security, what age do you recommend to start drawing?
Well, you can. Most people at 66 can start, or is their full retirement age. That's when they get the full amount for retirement. But you can start collecting at 62, but you're going to get less, right? But then also, if you wait until 70, then you'll get each year after 66, 8% more. So over 30% more, roughly.
So it pays to wait if you can.
It does, if you can, but that's where a plan comes in.
A plan to get to that place.
That's right. So then you know, hey, if I have my plan together, I can wait till 70.
Sure.
I don't have to start at 62.
Sure.
Or maybe it says you do start at 62. It's up to you. But those are usually the ages. 62, 66, and 70 are the key ages.
So it would make sense to try to push it off as long as you can.
I think so.
Right.
If you can get 8% more income every year, up to 70.
It's an extra trip or two.
Yeah.
There's a little extra traveling, right?
Yeah, a little extra.
Okay, so let's talk about the way to get there. How aggressive, how conservative should one be? I mean, sometimes you're in a place where you sort of need to be aggressive.
Yep.
But what's the best bet there? How do you figure that out?
Again, it's very personal.
Wait, I have an idea.
Yeah.
Plan.
Yeah. But it's a very personal thing. But look, I always say for clients is you want to be as conservative as you can, but also get enough money out of your portfolio to live off of.
Sure.
So that doesn't mean do all bonds. It also means you want to add some stocks in there. Remember, if you retire at 65, let's say, 66, you have a 50% chance you're going to live past 80.
Yeah.
You can live to 90. So you're going to need that money for 15, 20, 30 years. Well, guess what? That needs to grow a little bit in the meantime as well.
Yes.
So you want to be conservative, but enough where you can pull out the money and live off of it. So you want a little bit of stocks in there. But that's, again, where you would work very closely with your financial advisor to make sure that, for you particular, you set up the right allocation.
And it's so personal. It's so tailor-fit.
It is.
It really, really is. So what's the best way? We just reach out to you, come and set up an appointment, sit down with you?
That's right.
Yeah. Got to do it. You got to show up if you want to play, right? Or you can't win if you don't play.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Got to be in it to win it.
Exactly. Get that plan going. Tom Dowling, so good to have you here.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with more Talk of the Town.